Under the golden skies of the southern states of the United States, endless rows of orange trees stretch to the horizon. The United States produces more than 7 million tons of oranges each year, and behind each orange is a long and carefully managed journey, from orchard care to harvest to the state-of-the-art juice production line. Today, let's explore how these vibrant fruits become the fresh juice that so many of us enjoy every morning. Florida is the center of the U.S. orange industry, accounting for nearly 2/3 of the nation's production, with millions of tons harvested each season. California follows closely behind, supplying both domestic and major export markets, making American oranges a global commodity. Long before harvest, orchards require careful care. Most commercial orchards are planted with grafted seedlings to ensure healthy rootstocks and uniform fruit quality. Farmers regularly cut the trees, usually twice a year, to increase air circulation, control pests, and concentrate nutrients. Spring brings fragrant white flowers, and the season from June to September, the flowers turn into ripe oranges ready for harvest. The cycle begins in late fall when the groves come alive with harvest. For months, farmers monitor irrigation, control pests, and fertilize. By November to May, the fruit is at its peak. Traditionally, harvesting is still done by hand-skilled workers. Carefully twist each orange to avoid damaging the peel, stem, or branches. A worker can harvest 3,000 to 4,000 pounds in a day, depending on the species and variety. Today, specialized machinery plays a major role in large commercial orchards. Some tree shakers are equipped with cushion arms and conveyor systems capable of collecting hundreds of tons of fruit per day while separating leaves and branches. These machines have revolutionized the industry, reducing labor costs while maintaining fruit quality. after harvesting oranges are quickly transported to warehouses and factories. First, the oranges are washed to remove dirt and impurities from the field. Then comes the inspection step. Damaged or undersized oranges are separated. While high-quality oranges are packaged for fresh sale. Those destined for juicing are transferred to the processing line. At the factory, each orange is washed and rinsed again before being pressed. A hydraulic press squeezes the juice while separating the seeds and peel. The yellow liquid then flows through fine filters to remove the pulp, creating a uniform smoothness. To ensure food safety, the juice is pasteurized, rapidly heated to around 70 to 90 degrees. A process that kills bacteria but retains flavor and nutrients. The juice is then packaged in bottles or cartons of various sizes. Sealed, labeled with nutritional information and a batch code, and stored in cold chambers at 15 degrees. Some juices are treated with UHT technology, which allows them to be transported and stored at room temperature without losing quality. The journey doesn't stop with the bottled juice. Oranges are also dried into slices for snacking, used in teas and desserts, or processed into essential oils from the peels for cosmetics and cleaning products. Even the peels and pulp are reused as animal feed, ensuring nothing goes to waste. Orange juice is more than just refreshing. It's a great source of vitamin C, fiber, and antioxidants, which support immunity, digestion, and overall health. The U.S. orange industry contributes billions of dollars to the agricultural economy, supporting thousands of farm families, seasonal workers, and factory workers. From sun-drenched orchards to cold bottles lining supermarket shelves, oranges tell a story of dedication, technology, and tradition. The next time you pour yourself a glass of orange juice, remember the journey it's taken from the hands of Florida and California farmers to your breakfast table. Some fruits are hand-picked, but plums, sometimes they're shaken off trees by giant machines. On purpose. I made this video because plums are one of the most overlooked fruits in our kitchens, but behind them is an entire farming system built on precision patience and a little bit of brute force. In California, where nearly 90% of U.S. plums are grown, farmers use massive tree shakers to harvest prunes and hand-pick the softer varieties for fresh sale. But before that, each tree takes 4 years just to mature, and every spring, millions of bees are flown in just to pollinate the blossoms. A cold snap or a late frost. It could ruin an entire year's work. If you're still here, drop me a purple emoji or just a dot in the comments. I just want to know who actually makes it past the intro with me. Because what you're about to see isn't just about plums. It's about timing technology and the people behind a fruit we rarely think twice about. And if you stick around to the end, I'll show you how cranberry farmers harvest by literally flooding their farms like lakes. Let's get started. Have you ever stood in a sun-drenched orchard in the middle of California and watched as a tree full of ripe purple plums was shaken by a machine so powerful that the fruit rains down like a gentle purple storm? If not, you're about to. Welcome to the second chapter in our fruit journey. Last time we explored how peaches are grown, picked, and processed across the U.S. Today we head further into California's central orchards to uncover the journey of one of the most overlooked yet fascinating fruits, the plum. Let's start with a fact that surprises most people. Nearly 90% of all plums grown in the United States come from California. That's not an accident. The state's Mediterranean climate, warm, dry summers, and cool, moist winters creates the perfect conditions for plum cultivation. Add in rich, well-drained soil access to irrigation from the Sierra Nevada snowmelt, and generations of experience, and you have the ideal plum paradise. But it's not just weather and soil, it's people too. Meet Javier, a second-generation plum grower in Tulare County. His family has tended the same orchard for over 40 years. We don't just grow fruit, he tells us. We grow timing, precision, and patience. Plums are planted in the fall, usually as bare root saplings. The idea is simple. Let the roots settle in before spring arrives. The wait is long. It takes about 4 years before a plum tree yields a proper harvest. In that time, the grower prunes each tree annually to shape the canopy, prevent disease, and encourage airflow and sunlight. Each decision, from how much to water to which branches to cut, impacts the future fruit. Spring is a breathtaking season in a plum orchard. Trees explode in a canopy of white blossoms, attracting millions of bees brought in by rented hives. These bees, like unseen workers, pollinate each flower. It's this moment, fragile and fleeting, that determines whether or not there will be fruit. But nature isn't always gentle. In 2025, a cold snap in early March wiped out up to 20% of blossoms in some parts of the Central Valley. It was a stark reminder farming is never guaranteed. By midsummer, the plums begin to ripen. Their skins turn from pale green to deep red or purple, depending on the variety. Some are picked by hand, especially those meant for fresh sale. These workers wear gloves, long sleeves, and shoulder bags, harvesting carefully to avoid bruising. Others, those destined to become dried plums or prunes, are harvested mechanically. Massive tree-shaking machines grip the trunk and shake with just the right force. plums fall into a canvas catchment below, then get funneled onto conveyor belts. It's oddly poetic brute force meets delicate fruit. The next stop, processing. At the facility, plums are washed, sorted, and graded. Those meant for fresh sale are cooled immediately to preserve texture and flavor, then packed and shipped, often within 24 hours of harvest. Others head to drying tunnels where warm air circulates slowly, drawing out moisture without cooking the fruit. This is how prunes are born: chewy, sweet, shelf-stable. Did you know the U.S. produced around 390,000 tons of plums in 2024? In 2025, that number dipped slightly due to weather, but the demand for dried plums, especially in international markets like Japan, South Korea, and Germany, kept the industry stable. Still, there's a perception problem. Ask most people to name their favorite fruit, and plums rarely make the list. They're not as iconic as apples, not as snackable as grapes. But in terms of nutrition, high-fiber antioxidants, low glycemic index plums quietly punch above their weight. And for growers like Javier, they represent more than profit. A good plum is about balance, he says. Not too sweet, not too sour. Just enough give when you press your thumb into the skin. It's a fruit that rewards attention. So the next time you walk past plums in the produce aisle, pause, pick one up, press gently. Think about the soil, the sun, the storm of bees, and the people who shook a tree so you could taste summer. In our next video, we'll go from dry orchards to wet bogs and discover why cranberry farmers flood their entire fields just to harvest these little red berries. It's one of the most unusual and satisfying harvests you'll ever see. Stick around.